It's coming. There you go.
Okay, good. Thank you. So it works much better when, the PowerPoint is showing too. Um, Yes, so you are going to be given the opportunity to examine the roles that governmental agencies play in the development of healthcare policies and programs, and also taking a look at the issues that affect Estonians. And you'll be doing this all through a very interactive experience. So the program, you will be attending your lecture, a majority of your lecture here on campus. And then once you're in country, most of the learning will be experiential in nature. So you will be visiting agencies, you'll be going to museums, you'll be talking to local professionals about what they do. So the courses and credits, so the program, completion of the program will earn you 3 credits of biomedical science 4790. It is a summer 2021 registration. And it will be graded credit. So once you complete the course, you will receive a graded OSU letter grade for the program. And after you're admitted in the course, you will actually self-register. So once you're admitted into the program and you receive your acceptance letter, you will also receive instructions about how to register yourself for this course. Accommodations. So you will be staying in the Nordic Hotel Forum. It will be shared rooms with other members of the group. Breakfast will be provided daily. So you will have breakfast at the hotel and then you'll head out on your way to the various sites that you'll be seeing for the day. You will also be dining in local establishments. So there are several other meals that are included in the program fee. And there are some meals that you will have to pay for out of pocket. But certainly Estonia is a very affordable country. So there will be lots of different options as far as, price range for the meals that you'll need to provide for yourself. So we are currently in the process of determining the program fee. COVID has us a little bit delayed in announcing some of these and getting some of the details. But I am hopeful in the next couple of weeks that we will have something that we can provide to students, at least an estimate of what you can expect that it might cost. It will include your international airfare, your accommodation, daily breakfast, program-related field trips, transportation, and entrances to museums, and some of your lunches and dinners. Once we have established the program fee, we will also release a budget worksheet that will outline any additional costs and kind of a bottom line figure of what you can kind of plan around when you're kind of estimating and deciding financially whether or not you can afford it. There will also be the tuition for 3 hours of OSU credit that will be for summer 2021. So you will need to plan for that when you're thinking about the costs involved in study abroad. Additional out-of-pocket expenses that you want to consider as you're planning. So your passport, if you don't have one, wherever you go on education abroad, you'll need a passport. And you'll also, students that are traveling on US passports do not need a visa to enter into Estonia. But if you are traveling on a passport other than a US passport, then you may need a visa. So if you're kind of considering this program and you're a non-US passport holder, reach out to me and we can kind of navigate and determine whether or not you'll need a visa to go along with that. Other travel related expenses like luggage or new shoes, that sort of thing that you need to prepare yourself for the program. Some of your meals, in-country personal expenses, so souvenirs, and the like, that sort of thing that you might decide that you want to purchase along the way. We ask that all students attend an international travel consultation prior to departure. So that is either with the Student Health Center or with your primary care physician. So that will outline, you'll discuss with the physician any health related matters that you need to be considering when you're traveling to Estonia. And then there is also a $150 application fee when you submit your application through our website. You will need to pay the application fee. Now, if you are not admitted to the program for some reason, or if the program is canceled, then you will be refunded that application fee. Scholarships. So our website has a whole host of scholarships that are offered through OIA and through other campus departments and units. Certainly, you know, different colleges will offer a variety of scholarships. Our office offers several. I can comment that the scholarships that are offered through our office tend to be fairly competitive. So, you know, I advise students to really invest some time and energy into writing some good personal statements and with your application, really doing your best to kind of sell yourself and articulate, you know, why you would be the best candidate for the program and the scholarship. There are other scholarship suggestions. If there are program specific information on scholarships on the brochure page, if there are any, and scholarship application processes and deadlines vary. So you need to make sure that you're planning early, and I advise students to make a spreadsheet and to outline, you know, the scholarship that you're eligible for, and when the deadline is, and any requirements, if there's a letter of recommendation that you need, or if you need a personal statement. And financial aid is also available. So with the announcement of the program fee, we will also, like I said, release the budget worksheet. And the budget worksheet you can use to take to financial aid to appeal your cost of attendance and see if that has any effect on the financial aid that they will award you. Eligibility. So we ask that students have a GPA of 2.5 or higher, and that you complete at least 2 semesters of undergraduate education prior to departure. So that means, you know, if you are a freshman at the end of this year, you would be eligible to submit an application in January for this program. We also ask, you know, for obviously a genuine interest in the subject area that you'll be studying. With the application, so there is an application process and a deadline with this program. Currently, the application deadline is January 6th, although I suspect that we may move it a little bit later. So definitely keep an eye out on that. You can apply through Buckeye Link, or you can apply through our webpage. There is an Apply Now button that is visible for students through the program brochure page, and it is open now to begin submitting an application. The $150 application fee will be due at the time that you submit your application, so be prepared for that. There are also personal questions that you will need to answer as part of the application. So there will be general information that we'll collect, and there's a series of 3 or 4 short answer questions that we'd like you to answer. And I strongly encourage that students do put a little bit of effort into you know, explaining these questions and giving answers to these questions. And, you know, while we don't ask for a 10-page essay, you know, we do want a little more than, you know, a couple of sentences. So this is really all that we have to judge whether or not you'd be a good fit for this program. So please, you know, use that that opportunity to sell yourself and to explain why you would be a great applicant. And notification of admission. So once the deadline has passed, it will take a few weeks for us to sort of get everybody's documents in order, make sure everybody's submitted everything that they need to, and also to look through the applications and make a selection as to who we would like to take on the program. So education abroad and COVID-19, which is, you know, I'm sure a question that everybody has. Currently, Ohio State is monitoring the COVID-19 pandemic and how it's affecting international travel. As you may or may not know, Ohio State has suspended international travel through spring semester. So we are unable to send students on education abroad for spring 2021. However, we are able to proceed cautiously for summer 2021 plans. So we don't have a final decision yet on whether or not the university will allow summer 21 travel, but we are expecting a final decision probably somewhere in mid-January to early February. And even with this program, it may be a little later because it is a July travel. So sometime in that, you know, early to mid spring semester, we expect to have a decision from the university as to whether or not they will allow us to send students on education abroad for summer 21. If you are submitting an application and paying your application fee, If the university decides to not allow travel, then we will reimburse you the application fee. So there will be no financial penalty for applying and then finding out that the university has canceled travel plans. Let's see. I did see one question pop in there, so maybe it was answered already. How long is the course on campus versus time in Estonia? I think that
I
was
answered it, Jenny.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yes.
So I will stop sharing my screen and I will allow, Stephen, are you able to share your screen? Do you have a screen to share?
I don't, maybe, I don't, but
No,
maybe
okay.
Lorraine does.
All right. So I will go ahead and hand it over to you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. So I just wanted to give a high level overview of our travel and then what we'll be doing in July. So first off, we will be based as a group in Tallinn, Estonia. So Tallinn is the capital, the largest city, about 500,000 to 600,000 people. It is a old city. Through many of the slides that Jenny showed were actually the photographs were taken in Tallinn. It's a very walkable city. We'll be visiting universities there. Also health-related different facilities such as Estonia. We also visit typically the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. Mission in Tallinn as well. We do walking tours and then also other tours as well. So we're also hopeful that we'll be visiting an office with the World Health Organization that is in Tallinn as well. So we'll be spending the majority of our time in the city. There's excellent restaurants, very inexpensive. Estonia is on the euro. So that's really it's also a very consistent currency and it has been relatively weak against the US dollar over the past 5 to 6 years. We'll also be visiting 3 cities for day trips. Including Tartu, Estonia, which is about 90 miles south of Tallinn, where that is a university town, very compact. We'll be visiting the University of Tartu, the medical school there. There's an Institute of Genomics. We'll also do a walking tour, have a group meal. It's a very historic city, very really lovely to walk as well. We'll also be visiting Pärnu, Estonia, which is on the coast, which is also south of Tallinn on the Baltic Sea. And we'll be visiting a branch of the University of Tartu. They have a campus there in Pärnu, also very walkable city. Hopefully we'll be able to put our feet in the ocean there if the wet weather permitting, but nonetheless, students really enjoyed our time there. It was really during Soviet times, Pärnu was really a vacation spot for many Russians. And really you can see the remnants of the Soviet Union. It's one of the most unique places that I've ever traveled to. I always tell people when they ask me, what is Pärnu? I think it's really a mix of old Soviet style architecture kind of mixed in with Key West and then Southern California. So it's a very unique place. And students really enjoyed looking and walking through Pärnu as well. We'll be also spending a day to the east of Tallinn in Narva, Estonia, which is the border of Russia. This is a Russian-speaking community, and we'll be visiting various sites there as well. So we're very excited. This is a new add-on to our Estonia itinerary for this next year. So really, as far as my philosophy for short-term study abroad, we'll be spending approximately 5 days, half days doing instruction prior to departure. So really all of our classroom work will be done and completed before we board our group flight to Tallinn. So this is the first time that we've taught this virtually. So what I envision is really a mix of synchronous and asynchronous sessions. So during our sessions, we'll be learning about major public health initiatives and medical training, for example, in Estonia, learning about Estonia in general, and really how the health has really evolved since the fall of the Soviet Union in the early 90s. And then how they've really modernized. So Estonia is one of the most digitalized and e-friendly countries in the world. And we'll be learning about that and then how that ties into the promotion and delivery of healthcare within Estonia as well. So when we're actually in country, we'll be doing various visits as a group for a few hours to various sites in the 4 cities that we'll be visiting. There's also approximately right now about 2 days of free time where you'll be able to stay in country and do kind of exploration on your own and be able to visit and do, walking tours, kind of things that you would like to do. And Stephen and I have been to Estonia multiple times, so we can make suggestions. We have a couple of excellent tour guides that we're hoping that will be working with us that will also be able to provide excellent recommendations on your free time. So from my perspective, it's really important that you're given freedom and some flex time to enjoy the various locations in Estonia that we will be visiting. Stephen, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
Sure, if I can share. So Jenny, I think I can share my screen. I just pulled up a general map. There. Is everybody seeing that? Lorraine and Jenny, are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just to touch on what Dr. Wallace here, so here's Estonia, and just right across from the sea, there's Helsinki, Finland. So we're very close to Finland. And then the other Baltic countries for Estonia are to the south, Latvia and Lithuania. But as we mentioned, as Dr. Wallace pointed out, our main hub will be Tallinn, the capital. And from there, we'll take a coach to everywhere that we're going to go. So just Estonia is not that large, about the size of Maryland. So by coach, we're looking at a couple of hours each way to get to the different sites. So Tartu, which is where the university is, Harnu, and then Narva, which, as she mentioned, borders Russia. So again, Tallinn, where the airport is, and the capital will be our main hub. And so just to kind of echo a few things that Dr. Wallace said, we have both in country a combination of how healthcare is delivered, how health education occurs, but also cultural type things as well, so that you get a flavor for what it's like now and what it was like when it was under Soviet rule. It's a very easy country to travel. Don't fret if you don't know Estonian. Dr. Wallace and I don't. I can say aita, which means thank you, and tere hommikust, which means good morning. And that kind of takes me to wherever I need to go, because everybody there that we'll encounter is very fluent in English. So in that sense, it's very friendly, for Americans to go there. And so I just wanted to mention something about the dates, because I know one of you had asked that in the chat. And so the way that Dr. Wallace and I have this planned is in the final session of summer 2021, which is the 4-week July session. We moved it as late as we possibly could in the hopes that things will work out that we can actually go. So instead of how we would normally offer it in May, we tried to give ourselves a couple months buffer, knock on wood, that a vaccine, maybe now 3 vaccines are available, and that will give us time to go through that process and put it in as late as possible for travel. So we're looking at roughly, that session starts on Tuesday, July 6th and runs through Friday, July 30th. So we're looking at about 2 weeks of in-class, which Dr. Wallace mentioned we're going to conduct virtually so that wherever you are, wherever you live, you can participate in the course and then get yourselves back here to Columbus for when we depart as a group on Friday, July 16th. And I'm going to unshare here now. And so, yeah, and if you have questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll get them answered. Again, it's great that there are so many of you on here today who are interested.
I will also say, because I know we had as a question in one of the other sessions that I've done, is that if you are a STEP student, your participation will be logged today, and I will go on to the STEP website and I will indicate that you were here. So if that is something that you need to satisfy one of your requirements.
Okay, and just kind of a follow-up to what both Jenny and Stephen had said. So it's great, many of you are STEP students. Both Stephen and I have served as faculty advisors through the years, so we're very familiar with the program. So the way that this program generally is run annually, so at this point also, besides July 2021, Stephen and I intend to offer the course again May 2022, and you'll be also, if you are a current STEP student, you'll be able to use the funds even through May of 2022 as well.
The question is, how will we receive more information when dates and expenses are finalized? So in addition to publishing it on our website, my intention is to then use the email list from students who registered for this webinar to push out information once it's all finalized. So by registering, we have your email address, and we will be able to notify you when further information has been determined.
So also, as part of the program fee, when you see that, so the program fee will include our round trip to air and transportation, all of our in-country transportation. Stephen mentioned earlier, we'll be taking coaches primarily. That's included as well. The hotel is included, including breakfast each morning, which is excellent. This is generally will be a hot breakfast with multiple options. Also includes all of our entries to where if we visit a museum or visit other university sites is included at all. There'll be also numerous other meals included, both breakfast and lunch. So the major expenses will be included within that program fee. So we'll give you as much information as we can as exactly what is as far as meals that are included. But as far as, I always am asked by students what, how much does everything cost? Generally, the restaurants are less expensive than our Columbus. And there's a wide variety of what's available as well. So in other words, fast food type options, you can get a quick meal, often relatively healthy, for a few euros versus, high-end restaurant where it may be up to 30 euros a plate. So much different. The one thing I also tell students is the grocery stores offer great options for food at a few euros, which is really also an excellent option and very economical.
Absolutely, yes. And just to add on to that too, while we do have a robust agenda of in-country things, Dr. Wallace mentioned this earlier, we've built in free time for you. So, right, gives you time to decompress and take a look around. And Parnu is a lovely beach town. So we'll be visiting the university, the campus that's there. We have time eked out in the afternoon for you to go to the beach. So, so there'll be plenty of time for you to do some, scouting around on your own and buying souvenirs and those types of things.
Any questions?
And for those of you who are in STEP, this is a slam dunk one to get it approved because it's a university-run education abroad program. So let's see, somebody has a question. I am a STEP student and I'm registered for the Sustainability in Cyprus webinar, but the Zoom link is the same for both Cyprus and Estonia webinar. I enjoyed learning about Estonia. I want to make sure I will receive the STEP PDC credit.
Yes, I will make sure that if you're registered for this program, or if you're registered for Cyprus, you would have also received the STEP credit. But if you're registered for this program, once we're done here, I'll go into the STEP website and I'll indicate who attended.
Yeah, and Jenny, somebody's asking, they're curious, are Global May trips canceled for this year?
So we are definitely running a slimmed down portfolio of programs for next year, for 2021. I am not 100% certain if all Global May programs are canceled. I do know that some of them have been postponed. If you go on our website and search for Global May, it will bring up the information about the programs, the Global May programs that are on offer. So while I can't say that they've all been canceled, I do know that some have been affected. And we're probably looking at running about a portfolio of about 30 programs as of right now. So it is definitely slimmed down, but I'm not 100% sure on those Global Mays if they're all canceled.
Okay.
So I actually responded to one of the questions, which is an excellent question about being pre-med to participate. Absolutely not. So the program is run through the College of Medicine. So on your transcript, it will be MedCall. I have run the program 3 times. We visited in previous years, it was Finland and Estonia. And, you know, while a substantial number of students are interested in pursuing health related careers, including medicine, we've had students from across the board, across the university, actuary student. We had a student that was interested in music, or that was a music major that was scheduled to participate last year because she had learned about the Finnish education system. So really, and as far as the pre-course departure, there's no prerequisites that are needed. That we cover many different topics, starting with, you know, overall, you know, what is Estonia? How has it evolved and developed since the fall of the Soviet Union, and then looking at very specific health related and then society related. So they also have a very solid educational system. And we'll be also talking about their, you know, their e-society as well. So again, we welcome students from all majors. Again, it's a very, very interesting place to travel to. It's often off the radar screen. Students have really been surprised at how much they enjoy Estonia, and the places that we're going to be visiting are very diverse in and of themselves.
Yes, and I was just, the other question, and this goes back to something that Dr. Wallace mentioned, if we wanted to do this for STEP, could we do it in 2022 if we are unable to in 2021 due to the pandemic? Yes, assuming you're a sophomore, you just need to have your project done before senior year, so you could do it at the end of your junior year. And STEP has made a lot of allowances right now just because students, through no fault of their own, have been impacted due to COVID-19 issues. Yeah.
Great questions. Yes.
Yeah, and the E piece of Estonia is really interesting because they have an electronic health record which follows the individual. So if I am an Estonian and I have my health record, no matter which healthcare provider I see or which hospital I go to in country, they can access my full medical record. It's very different than in the United States. So, I'm established here at the Wexner Medical Center, but if I go down the road to Riverside, I have to start all over again. And given all of the issues around our US presidential election, in Estonia, voting is done electronically. So one of our in-country hosts that Dr. Wallace and I just adore, in fact, she just had a birthday, she joked with us about how she voted. Her husband brought her coffee in bed, and she insulted her, and she inserted her ID card, and she used her, iPad or whatever her device is, and she did her voting. So it's different. Again, small, 1.3 million people, but definitely some things we can learn there. And actually, that is where Skype, right? Sometimes Skype was invented in Estonia.
So just to follow up from Stephen mentioned, it's the East Society. So in Tallinn, we hope to visit Estonia, where they have a showroom and they will learn about all of their E-Society relative like to healthcare, to voting. This is so they have one card. It's similar to our license for everything that is their electronic that they have access to. So very, it's really interesting.
There is a question in the chat. How will we know if our STEP credit was accounted for? Is there some indication on the STEP dashboard? Can either of you answer? I'm not sure about that answer.
Yeah, so Jenny, you'll upload the attendance.
Yes.
And then it should appear on your STEP dashboard as one of your PGC credits. And then your faculty mentor will be able to see that as well.
Right. So just make sure that you also, as a follow-up, that you also, you obviously attended today. The attendance is the first part, but then you also need to do, complete the reflection and those prompts as well. So I always told my students in the past just to go ahead and just complete the follow-up prompts just to get to be done, because it's easier to remember now than in 2 weeks later. So also, I would welcome any email correspondence. I'd be happy to speak with you if you have more specific questions about the program, the timing as well. So I don't know, Jenny, will you share both Stephen and myself's email?
Yeah, you're 621?
Yes.
Okay, I'll put them in the chat now. And Stephen, what is yours?
One.
Got one.
.1, I'm the only one.
You're like, that's easy.
Yep.
Are there any other questions? Now, we will hang out here while the students sort of start to leave the webinar. Oh, sorry. Still, I'm a bit confused. I registered for sustainability in Cyprus, but not the Estonia info session. Will I still be receiving credit for attendance if I complete the reflection that says it's for sustainability in Cyprus? Why don't you just send me a separate email so that I can make sure that I give you credit for this, for attending a session? That's my email address is just above, so.
I think it's
That's the way for all of us.
all of us.
Okay. Well, I will have your email addresses. I'm not sure what happened. We're all learning this, new technology all together. So I do have all your email addresses, and I'll make sure that you get credit for attending an info session.
And
so go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you saw that Jenny put our emails in there. Feel free to reach out to us as you have questions, and we'll gladly follow up with you.
And if you want information on the Sustainability in Cyprus program, you can also email me.
Okay, is that when you do too, Jenny?
I do.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah.
I mean,
and also, oh, go ahead, Lorraine.
no, I said Cyprus is a wonderful place. I mean, there's no question.
Right, because when you were abroad, right, you instructed at a university there.
Yes, yes.
So that's all that we have. If you can still feel free to enter in any questions, but we'll just hang out here while everybody leaves the session. And thank you for attending. We appreciate students' interest in education abroad.
Yes, thank you. Have a good
Thank you.
semester, everyone.